To avoid scenes like this in Dune Spice Wars, defeat at the hands of House Atreides as they take complete and utter control of the Lansard Council and political victory, I've created this video. Some more overpowered tips and tricks and combinations, like riding a worm through deep desert, taking no supply damage, and snagging villages. In this video, I'll take you through some more overpowered tips and tricks. There'll be time cards down below, and before we begin, a quick shout out to this tip and trick from my last video. If you didn't see it, the nasty combination of cutting the enemy's supply and causing a ceasefire causes them to starve in the open. In this video, we'll talk everything from espionage to unique abilities and powers and strengths of different factions in the game, but by and large, the lessons that you'll be learning can be universally applied. Without any further ado, let's grace the like button and jump straight in. Firstly, I want to talk agents with you. So at the beginning of the game, your new agent speed is very slow. It takes a long time to produce these agents that can infiltrate Arrakis to research things. The Chome infiltration slots can earn you a lot of money and save your economy, or you can infiltrate enemy houses over on the left to build up towards Assassination and earn a lot of intel, +5. In comparison to +1. The yield from your agents are very strong, and I would suggest that you look to the tech tree to unlock them as soon as you can. There are powerful technologies on the economy tree. Likewise here, survival training, but I'd focus your attention up to the top left. Spying logistics, stealth gear, and countermeasures will all help you either get more agents or unlock future agents faster, +100% agent recruitment speed out of countermeasures there. The same with spying logistics, essentially meaning you can recruit your agents twice as fast and have more of them. The benefit of doing this early is obvious. The faster you get them recruited, the more they'll be working, providing their own individual benefits and building you up intelligence. As you move through the game, you'll be stage-gated a little bit by this as well, hegemony. At 2000 hegemony, you can start to build on your main base, and then as a faction, you'll unlock extra abilities at 5 and 10,000. So it's important to keep this in mind, and, in this case, water production is the Fremen, your unique ability to generate more hegemony. Why? Well, because as I say, at 2000 you unlock the home base, and there are some powerhouse combos that cannot be ignored. Firstly, the research center is by far and away probably universally a very useful one to get online early. The recycling vats are good too, but really it's the research center that you'll want to focus on. It provides you with +3 knowledge, a nice little booster to essentially double your early game research, meaning that you can move through that tech tree much faster. Really can't be understated how powerful this research center is. +30% knowledge, reduced upkeep on future research hubs as well, they're quite expensive, and ultimately doubling your knowledge, bursting you through to either a powerful military or a powerful set of agents much faster. But if you thought that power was nuts, stand back everybody! The Fremen have got something to show you, and it's sitting here inside of Sietch Tabr, their city center. It's this, the Bazaar. My god, is this good. If the research center is a must pick, I think the Bazaar is almost certainly an always build. This counts as an economy, a military, and a statecraft district for the purpose of district bonuses. You also apply the district bonus one more time. So that district bonus is doubled. You'll also get a little bit of influence, but it's this part that really matters. You get the district bonus of all three, and it's doubled. Here you can see I've built it on a 1 slot to take advantage of the first benefit in each category. Statecraft developments, 20% faster. Military developments, 20% faster, and the economic developments, 20% faster. What happens when you build the Bazaar, though? That gets doubled. All of a sudden, you're looking at a 40% boost to your developments. It's important to note here as well that developments means research. The development tree is the tech tree in this game. One way that I like to leverage the power of the research center generally and the Bazaar if I'm playing as the Fremen is to trade with other players like this. You can tell by the green and red arrows if you haven't already seen this in my previous videos, whether they'll be more likely to value that resource highly and give you a bad deal or value it lowly, reflected by, in this case, the red down arrow, and they'll generally give you a good deal. You can use this to likely leverage your early game plastic, which is easy to produce for more money, and then build those districts. It's just the way I've gone about it. It's entirely up to you. While we're on the topic of the Fremen, it is important to note, if you haven't seen this before, it's so good. Their thumpers are unlocked right from the start of the game. You'll have 3 uses. These are essentially free airfields, no cost to use them. You don't have to build the airfield, and you have a really impressive range through and past natural features like you always would. Now, a few misconceptions that I've seen in the comments section on previous videos. Yes, you only have 3 thumpers, so use them wisely in the early game. Once you get to 5,000 hegemony though, again why I mentioned hegemony earlier in the video, they'll start to replenish, and at that point you should be able to have a consistent supply of maybe 2 in your back pocket. You should be all good to take advantage of things like the surprise attack, like you just saw me do, to defend your territory. A bonus here, by the way, that I just quickly wanted to mention, once you unlock the ability to train mercenaries, you might want to do it to quickly defend close-by territories. Their upkeep doesn't cost any manpower, it only costs Solari instead. It's 20, but they're cheap and easy to build. Could be worthwhile for you as you look to defend. Finally here, while we're talking about bazaars and buildings, on the Harkonnen front here, you'll see the Intelligence Agency, another powerhouse for boosting up your agents, 20% more intel, and you'll recruit them twice as fast. This will matter, and you'll start to see why as I bring the video together here towards the crux, what I think is the most powerful combo I've found so far in this game. The Interrogation Center is useful here. Extra intel from destroying units, 10 intel per agent captured by you, gain intel by pillaging villages. This is weaker than the rest, but it's useful for you if you need to build up your intel without building districts to produce it. So I just thought I'd note, not as good as the rest, but quite good and can fit with this overall theme that I'm bringing together here. This of course works best, in fact this works exclusively for Harkonnen. However, you can use the learnings from this strategy more broadly and apply them to other games. A quick note, do look out for de-escalation. De-escalation reduces infiltration levels by 2. You'll want to vote that down whenever you can if you're trying to carry out espionage, and particularly if you're going for that domination victory using Assassination. Speaking of which, here's the wombo combo. So, first and foremost, and a slight side note, but it's important to mention, you might want to pick up these exchanges, these trade deals with other empires. It's particularly powerful with Atreides because you won't take the authority penalty, but by and large, it's a good idea to get your knowledge and your Solari agreements online if you have the authority to do so. Generally, I find towards the end of the game, while you're gearing up for this assassination, can be a great time to do this, and it's why I've included it in the video here. We've rejected them at the council, we've ensured our levels are strong, and hopefully by this point as well, you've built a reasonable enough economy that you can afford to avoid things like de-escalation, and you should have your intel generation up as well. Stay clear of this thing because it lasts for 19 days, so do make sure you vote it down if you're going for that sweet, sweet assassination victory. Now, you've trained up a lot of agents by this point, and you've got your infiltration levels where they need to be. I would note that the level 3 Arrakis infiltration level is required to complete the 3 out of 3 assassination task. To complete an assassination in Dune Spice Wars, you do need to run the operation 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and the 3rd time requires infiltration level 3 of your target and of Arrakis. Here you can see it on screen. I've gone through the first 2 and I'm up to number 3. 1,000 intel, that's the max, and $5,000 plus all of my agents in a row, and I can do it. If you're playing as Harkonnen, you should absolutely use this agent to sacrifice thing as well. Throw an agent in, you should have 1 spare because you'll have 15, not 10, and you'll destroy your foe like I've done here to Atreides so very, very fast. In fact, it's stupidly fast. The execution of this as Harkonnen is unparalleled. Take your free agent, you should have 15 in total, so there'll be plenty to go around, and chuck it into the assassination mission, agent to sacrifice, in this little slot here. Click and drop it and you'll see the ludicrousness that is mission sacrifice. Minus 80% cost, so you'll save on your intel and money. Minus 80% preparation time. You also can't be caught, can't be detected. I mean, this is just nuts. Look at how fast that ticks up. This is on 2 times game speed, but my god, that's loading quickly. I spent my childhood waiting for the internet to load much slower than that bar is filling up. You've got barely enough time to move across the world and find their capital city before the assassination is done. You can't be caught, you can't be interrupted, you can't lose agents, and it happens 80% faster and an 80% discount. My God, it is good. And while the Fremen's worm ability is very powerful, once you hit that 10,000 hegemony mark, as Harkonnen, you can start to allocate your extra agents, which you should have if you'd followed the strategies and combinations that I've discussed in this video. Then you can enact the most powerful obliteration assassination attempt of all kind. The only other way to take out players quickly would be to do what I've done here as the Fremen, use your worms to sneak up into their territory and try and attack their capital city. Or you could try and vote yourself as governor or win through score hegemony, that sort of time reward-based victory condition in Dune Spice Wars. But really, when it comes to quick defeats or quick victories, this assassination combo is the most powerful combination I've been able to find. Again, shout out to the Fremen, who have featured in this video with their bizarre incredible district and their worms that you can see me taking advantage of here. I think there's absolutely a militaristic strategy, but when you're fighting against Harkonnen, who have incredibly powerful, potentially incredibly armored up units, and they can assassinate you with 100% success at 80% the cost of everyone else, it's hard to make a judgment call that riding worms could be any stronger. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've learned something new, whether it was a small tip or loads of information for beginners, and I'll see you in the next one.